Hi, it's Tammy Braswell, and I'm here today to talk to you about nothing is ever wrong. And this is part of my Higher Awarenesses Expanding Your Perspective series. This is bringing you to a place where maybe something you didn't know before or something that you were aware of, but taking it to a new higher level, a new expanded way of viewing things from not the heavy, dense place that we often view things from. So, as I said, today is about nothing ever is wrong, or nothing ever being wrong. And I'd like to start with going into why we view things as right or wrong. And I'm going to talk from a way that we see things in our experience, but also from a higher energetic place that lets you know how you can expand your view and just see the world differently. Hello to those of you who are showing up live. Thank you so much. The video will replay, obviously, in the group. So if you happen to miss it live with me right now, you can go ahead and watch it later. There is a high vibrational energy that comes with anything that I offer, because I'm bringing in really high vibrational energy while I'm talking to you. So there's a lot going on in your energy while you listen. And it'll be in the recording as much as it is in the live. And I want to, excuse me, the weather's changing here in Michigan. It's not sure what it wants to be, cold or warmer. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments so that I can answer them while we're talking here. And I appreciate you being here live with me. For those of you who are, Kay, Wendy, Tracy. So let's go into why we view things as right or wrong. So basically, from the time we're small children, we're told what this is acceptable, which is considered right, and this is not acceptable, which is considered wrong. So we go through life really viewing things as, if I do this, will I be accepted? Will this be okay? Will people still love me if I choose to do this? So we really try to do all the right things and right according to a belief system that was created by someone else. And it just keeps being perpetuated. So we're not really saying that what our parents did was wrong or anything like that. It's just they've perpetuated the same patterns that have been going on for a while. So we go out in the world and we say, oh, that's right and that's wrong. But what I want to offer to you today is, what happens if there is nothing wrong? Nothing is ever wrong, that everything is always just right. And why is it right? Because we're a part of a divine universe, source, God, whatever you want to call that universal consciousness that we're part of, and everything it does is based in love. And there is no wrong in love, because love is the highest place you can be, and it feels so good. There's nothing wrong when something feels really good. It feels right, right? So this consciousness creates a space where everything functions in a way that is by universal law, and it functions perfectly. So we're always striving for perfection, but actually how everything works for us is already perfect, and we are perfect in it. It's based on our intention for what we want to experience and our belief system of what is possible. And that belief system was created when you were a child, and it's just been perpetuated as you've grown up and gone out into the world, and things are confirmed to be true from when you were a child. And even those things that aren't necessarily confirmed to be true from when you were a child, if you don't question them and don't bring them to the surface, they don't change. They just keep running like a program in the background of the same type of patterns. And that's our programming. It's how computers are set up, because I believe, because how we're set up. So our subconscious holds all this information of what's right or wrong, but it doesn't judge that. It's based upon how we view it and what's there for us to function from, and it upholds that. So if you view something in your belief system as wrong, your subconscious will avoid it happening because you deem it as something that is not correct to experience. But from a higher perspective, nothing's wrong. Everything is functioning for your good all the time. And even when, from a human perspective, from that limited view that you have of the world and your understanding of it because of your beliefs, because of your programming, you see it as things are not working for you, but they really always are. They're leading you to the next highest version of yourself, to the next place that you can step into that is the greater part of you. And it's only when you hold on to those places that feel wrong, that you keep focusing on what's not working, that you stay stuck in that place. People worry about the path that they took, and they'll say, oh, I took the wrong, job. I took the wrong way in that direction. I chose the wrong partner. But all of it is perfect for where you are at the time. So you can only ever come from what you understand and know at this very moment. So every choice you make is based on where you're at. So actually, to make better choices, it's reevaluating where you are and saying, okay, is this what I want? And why do I want it? And what are my beliefs behind it that may stop it from happening? But it's never wrong. And when we start to change the way we view that, instead of saying, oh, I've done these wrong things, to embrace them as experiences that you had, things that you chose to experience, to be part of who you are, and they've brought you to this place of who you are right now. I know that I could look back at my life and say, I didn't like this thing, and maybe I shouldn't have been with that person, or I shouldn't have made that choice. But what I realize is that every single one of those things has helped create the person that I am right now. And I really like who I am right now. I really enjoy who I am right now. I really enjoy my life the way it is. Is it perfect by everyone's standards? Probably not, but it's great for me, and I love living it, and I love that I get to share that with others and to be part of their experience as well. So there's nothing wrong with it. And I know that many of us will think that there's things wrong because that's our old conditioning. That's the way that we were taught. That's how we were brought up. And as a higher awareness, to step back and say, okay, well, even those things that didn't seem right, but seem wrong in my life, how can you see the benefit and the gift that they offered to you? We didn't come to have this human experience to have it be boring. So all the things that happen are part of the excitement and the adventure of what our soul wanted to experience here. And that in itself is amazing. And I think fun. Would I say my entire life has been fun? Not always. But now it's just experiences I had that I can look back at and say, okay, this one was okay. This one, not my favorite, but I'm still here. I'm thriving. I'm happy. So it only made me stronger. It only made me be able to see the contrast of things that I'd like to experience more of and things that I'd like to experience less of. So it's not that they're right or wrong. It's just I want more of this because it feels good. I want less of this because it doesn't feel so good. So I'd love to hear any thoughts that any of you have. I see more people are joining. What thoughts do you have behind things that are right or wrong or perceived as right or wrong? Because it is just a perception. what I might view as right, someone else might view as wrong. So is it the thing itself or just our perception of it? We get to choose how things are and how we view them. And I was just thinking this morning, like, what would I talk about? Because I don't really make any notes. I just let the information flow through, like when I'm channeling. And I thought about this story that is based on belief system, because our beliefs are what create our experience. It's our programming. It's what our subconscious functions from to create our experiences outside of ourselves. And most of us are running on belief systems that are outdated. Someone else provided them when we were younger, and we've just continued to function from them. And there's this story that I always find interesting about beliefs, is that there was a couple, and it was a holiday, and they were going to have one of those big hams. And the wife goes and she cuts off both ends of the ham. And you might have heard this story before, but she cuts off the ends of the ham and puts them in the pan. And her husband looks at her and says, "Honey, why do you cut the ends off the ham?" And she's like, "Well, I don't know. My mom cut the ends off the ham." And he's like, "Yeah, but why do we cut the ends off the ham?" And she's like, I don't know. And he said, "Well, since your mom did it, can we call your mom and maybe ask her? Maybe she knows why we cut the ends off the ham." So they call up her mom and they ask, "Why do you cut the ends off the ham?" And so oh, hello, Lisa. That's okay. You can watch it later. Thanks for joining. So the mother says, "Well, I don't know. I've always just cut the ends off the ham. Grandma cut the ends off the ham." And so the husband keeps asking but why did she cut the ends off? Well, we don't know. So he says, "Can we call Grandma and ask Grandma why she cuts the ends off the ham?" So they call up Grandma and they said, "Why do you cut the ends off the ham? It just seems like such a waste." And she giggled and she said, "Well, I cut the ends off the ham because my pan was too small. So that was the only way she could get the ham in the pan, was to cut parts of the ham off." And the daughter saw this and obviously never really asked, "Why do we need to cut the ends off?" And then the husband's wife, so that'd be the granddaughter / daughter, never questioned it either till the husband came along and said, "Why?" So we run from a lot of beliefs, and this can be a whole nother video, a live stream in itself, but we run from old beliefs that don't actually make sense, and we don't always question them. So that's our basis of right and wrong. And when we can start to say, well, why do I function from this belief? What is this belief? When you bring anything to the surface, you can now do something with it. Maybe it's a belief that you like to have. I have beliefs that I've looked at and said, "No, I'm good with that belief. I'm okay with it. I'm gonna leave it there." And there are other ones that say, "Well, that one limits me," or "That one doesn't allow me to make this choice that I'd like to consciously make now." And we can shift those. So, looking at life from a higher perspective of saying, if everything is right and shows up perfectly for us, then what is it here for? And if we begin to view it as wrong, what belief do we have that makes it wrong? Because everything is here for our good. Everything is here to take us to the next higher level of who we can be. And it's just such an amazing place to be when you can view it from that different perspective and look at it in different ways. So Samantha's here from the UK. Great. Thanks for being here, Samantha. So are there any questions or any thoughts that you'd like to share? Those of you who are on here with me about your beliefs or how things show up for you, right or wrong. After I started to come from this higher perspective place, this place of where you step back and you start to realize that a lot of what you've watched happen, a lot of what you've been conditioned to believe is true. isn't so, that it doesn't jive with who you are, who you know you are, who, your soul is reminding you that you are. And you look out and start thinking, well, what happens if everything shows up perfectly? I think it was Albert Einstein that's the quote, something to the effect of, you can look at everything as a miracle, or you can look at it as nothing as a miracle. But there really isn't both. Everything is amazing, or you look at it from a lower perspective that it isn't. So everything can be wrong, or choices can be wrong. And a thought has come to mind to remember to share with you is like, a while back I received higher guidance about like the paths we take. So when it comes to, you come to a place in your life and you can take this path or you can take this path. And you're sitting there thinking, well, if I take this one, this will happen. And if I take this one, this will happen. And I don't know which one to choose because I don't want to make the wrong choice. And what they shared with me was that, the higher guidance is what they shared with me is that neither of them are wrong. That when you choose one, just choose one and start heading in that direction. And don't look back at what you didn't choose, because that's what throws people off. They start going, oh no, I didn't choose that. I should be doing this thing, or what would have happened if? To not go into those places, those are lower vibrational places that keep us stuck, but to say, I chose this path, this is the right path for me right now, and to head down it. And the beauty is that you can course correct, you can make a different choice, you can turn a different way, that nothing is so set that, well, that's all there is. There's so much more to it. And who knows, it could bring you back around to a higher place of the other path that you didn't have to go through all the other stuff to get to. So it's an opportunity of viewing things from a place that everything I choose is the right choice. And it's always taking me somewhere better. And when you can shift the energy and view it that way, how you show up in your life changes. And it's all these like simple little adjustments in how we view things, and our level of consciousness and our level of awareness that can change so much in our experience. What we don't know, but when we can bring it to light, like just before this, I recorded a show I was a guest on a show called Outside the Box, and I'll be sharing that link for that show when it's all done. You always record them and then they have all the editing and all the prep work before you can actually share them. And, it was just like 2 days ago that this person, Tony, contacted me because she happened to see another show I was on. And, I wasn't expecting it, but the path that I've chosen to go down, which I know is the right path, sometimes I view it and I think, oh, well, it might not be showing up exactly as I would like it to in the moment, but I always remind myself, I'm on the right path. I'm on the path that I've chosen, and that I'm moving in a way that everything is showing up for my good, and it really does. It's amazing how it shows up. So 2 days ago, she sent me an email. Yesterday, we chatted. Today, we recorded a show. And just so Monday of this week, it's today, Thursday, Monday, I had no clue this would even be happening today of the show. And we connected really well, and it was great. And so I am thankful and grateful for all these things that show up to remind me why it's all right. And yeah, there are little snafus, I call them, or little bumps in the road that are things that, I don't even want to say they're an irritation. They're just something that, heck, if it wasn't there, it'd be okay. But everything seems to bring something good into my life, a person, an experience I didn't know I was going to have that helped open me up to something else. And it's just all amazing. So I invite you to look at your life more from a perspective of everything I choose is the right choice. And everything that you've chosen, even in the past, has been right in that moment. Even if it was struggle feeling or there was abuse or pain or something like that, because I've had that in my life too. But at this point, I really like who I am, and all that stuff created it, created who I am now. Let me be this person I am now. So was it wrong? No, because then I wouldn't be the Tammy that's sitting here having this conversation or this talking to you if any of that was different. And so all of it to me was right. And again, it stems from our belief system. So that's something that you want to shift. And that can be a little challenging at times because it's so ingrained and it's been there for so long that we don't even know what all the beliefs are. And so I'd like to invite you that that's the kind of work that I do and that I love doing. So, I'd love to support you in changing your belief system so that when you look at your experiences in your life, you can say, these are the right ones. I've made the right choice, and feel more clear and confident in making those choices. So what I'm going to do is just in the comments below, there'll be a link to set up a chat with me so we can discuss where you're at and what it would look like to shift into a place where your life felt right. The things you choose are right, and that's where you come from. And all the wrongness that was perceived through other people's rights and wrongs is just still right because you're who you are because of all of it. So I want to thank everybody who joined me live and who will be watching this. I really appreciate you and your time. And if there's any questions, let me take a look here. Yes, Tracy, there's never a wrong choice. It's all part of our journey. But not everybody is quite aware of that. So that's why it's just bringing these new awarenesses forward so that you can recognize that. So again, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time to join me, and I hope this brings some new awareness, some new aha into your life as well. And again, if you'd like to have a chat with me to know more, to shift some beliefs that might be just holding you in a place that you're ready to move forward from and really have more clarity and confidence in your life when you say, yes, this is the right way that I want to go because everything works out for my best, then just go ahead and click the link that I'll be adding to the comment section. And so I want to thank you until the next video, and have a great day.